Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Well, well, well. It seems like we have ourselves a bit of a quandary. Oh, well, it's unavoidable. Hello, Dansby. Thank you so much for being the first one here. Unfortunately, there are no prizes, but there is major street cred for that. And Susie Q, thank you so much for oh, there you go. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. Or I think you may have changed cards or payment methods or something like that. Because I think you remember already, right? But anyway, I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Um, okay. Mm. Wow, you guys have been having a nice conversation, uh, which is good. Hey, Beverly McCaskill, Lydia Washington, Gwendolyn Daniels, Sharon Jones, Yulibi, EI, EIEIO, Lola Love, Tash Mack. Thank you all so much for being here. Um, okay. So I think some of you all moderators might be doing some double duty, but that's okay. Hey, Lex, thank you so much for being here. And Lex wants to say hi to a few people. TMCD, Minxie Martin, thank you so much for being here. All right, so I got my slides ready. I should. I mean, look at how long it took. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. So exciting news today, right? I told you guys it's going to be a very, very busy 2024. Yes, it is. It's going to be a very busy 24. And I'm hoping, I'm praying. You know, I don't hate anybody, but I can't tell you that I spend a lot of time praying for people across the pond, of the various other houses of Windsor. I don't spend a lot of time praying for them, but because I feel like the fix is in, the last time the Sussexes were gearing up for, things, they had to go into a period of mourning, and that really sidetracked a lot of stuff. If you ask me, it kind of nipped away at the momentum, and I hate for that to happen again. Just in time. Thank you, Jacqueline Squash. God Almighty has our Black Queen in his holy and powerful hands. Amen, 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 and amen. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you so much for that. Yes, and there is a get well card for Black Queen over on the community tab. So if you want to leave some kind thoughts, prayers, or something positive, please feel free to do that. And thank you so much for, I think, almost 200 people that have left comment. Greatly appreciate it. Now, let's get on with it, shall we? Wow, that's looking like a passport, isn't it? But it is not a passport. A very quiet and very timely revamp of the old Archwell website has now become Sussex.com. Yes, so the office of Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Very simple, very simple. And that very dramatic blue, like midnight sky background that they have looks absolutely beautiful. I love it. So, apropos of that, I decided to use that picture of the Sussexes for the thumbnail. So, and then too, there is also the partnership with Boeing that continues, and a little more news, not a whole lot, but let's see if we can get out of here in an hour. We'll see how it goes. Oh, by the way, thank you all so much for 51,000 subscribers. That's 51,000 subscribers. Yes, it just rolled over while I was working. So, yeah, thank you all so much. 51K. I love it. 51K. That just That sounds good. Could not have done it without all of you, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Um, yeah, it's been quite a journey, and it would be nice to have 100,000 just to get that play button, but Royal Sussex has already exceeded, I would probably say, yeah, most people's expectation, because the topic of Harry and Meghan on a day-to-day basis is such a niche topic, and it's hard to figure out where does that fit into the big scheme of things. But um, I decided a long time ago that's not important. There is a community that is here for it, and that's all that matters. So, um, because we support our faves, we are here for them, and of course, you all support one another. You all have been very supportive to me, and that's a beautiful thing. So, thank you all very much. Okay, let me see here. I just need to grab something very fast. Let me see. I adore that. Have you guys seen that little kid that sings "Don't Worry About a Thing"? Well, that song has been stuck in my head. I think per copyright, I'm not able to share it with you guys. I'm very sure that would be problematic, but maybe I'll try to put a link on the community tab. It's like, it's what everybody needs, especially on a bad day or even a good day. It's what everyone needs. But anyway, okay. All right. Let me get on with it. I got that worked out just perfect. And continue. So, brace yourselves. There is a nor'easter, a nor'east, wait, a northeaster, but most people just say nor'easter. Big snowstorm in, I'm sorry, the biggest snowstorm in 2 years possible for New York, as northeaster braces, or northeast that is, braces for snow. Snowfall rate of 2 inches per hour could snarl the Tuesday morning commute from eastern Pennsylvania to Massachusetts, including along the heavily traveled I 95. I 95 is that highway that takes you, I think, what is it, Miami, up to New England, up to New York and such. So I 95 is super, super important to anyone who lives on the East Coast. And also, if you're a person of color, uh, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, because that seems to be one of those corridors where they're always looking for people taking their pharmaceuticals up to the Northeast and such. So I heard. I heard. But I've gone on I-95 before, and wow, that is quite a run to go through there. Absolutely, Joan. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, bronchitis can be very tricky, so it's always important to make sure that you're taking it very serious, because it is modern times. It is very treatable, but still, it can be very uncomfortable. So, um, of course, we're sending our prayers for Black Queen for a speedy recovery. Okay, and let me see here. Let us continue. So, the office of Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. As you can see, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry quietly launched new Sussex.com website. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex Archwell Foundation website also got a makeover. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry just got an online makeover. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex quietly launched a new website, Sussex.com, on Monday. The web address encompasses the latest news about the couple, bios for Prince Harry and Meghan, as well as link to their Archwell Foundation organization and Archwell Production Hub. The homepage features a photo of Prince Harry and Meghan in Germany in 2023 Invictus Games closing ceremony. In September, the image of the duo smiling and clapping is clearly a favorite of the pair, as they also chose it as the picture for their holiday card last year. Under their coat of arms, the text on the homepage reads, "The Office of Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex." Dun, dun, dun. As well it should. And that is very cool. Very formal. I love it. So, right there, the most recent update on the news tab is Prince Harry's appearance on Thursday at the NFL Honors in Las Vegas, where he presented the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year to Pittsburgh Steelers defensive tackle Cameron Hayward. Prince Harry has long advocated for the power of sports for healing and building community. He was honored to present this award and highlight the importance of giving back, the page stated. Their Archwell Foundation website also underwent a makeover to coordinate with the new website. Instead of a beige background, the nonprofit organization homepage features a similar blue theme. The couple's former website, sussexroyal.com, now redirects to the new address. A pop-up message on the defunct webpage reads, "This site was established in 2020 and sets out the work streams of Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, prior to their move to the United States to learn more about the royal couple and their philanthropic endeavors." Hear, hear. Okay, and continuing, let me see. Baron. It was about time up until there was a disconnect between the brand Archwell Foundation and the brand Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Yeah, we don't want that kind of crossover. And as someone was saying earlier on Twitter, that with them working with these big corporations and all the other things that they're doing right now, it just makes sense to have a more formal page, more details, and hopefully they will update it more often, because that is one of the things that was a little frustrating. Plus, that beige was a bit of a downer for some people. I was listening to some long-term squatties saying that they did not like the energy that was coming off the old page. So hopefully this will be more appealing to other people, or more people. And well, it just looks very grown up and very well organized. So that's a good thing. And I'm just glad it's here. So after Meghan and Prince Harry announced that they would be stepping back from their roles as working members of the royal family, they agreed not to use the word royal moving forward in their branding, while the Duke and Duchess are focused on plans to establish a new nonprofit organization. Given the specific UK government rules that is surrounding the use of the word royal, it has been therefore agreed that their nonprofit organization, when it is announced in spring, will not be named Sussex Royal Foundation. According to a statement from the spokesman, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex do not intend to use Sussex Royal in any territory post-spring 2020. After Meghan and Harry married in 2018, news about their royal work appeared on the Kensington Royal account, alongside updates of Prince William and Kate Middleton. The following year, the couple launched a separate Instagram page, Sussex Royal, as part of a plan to establish a separate office from William and Kate. The Sussex Royal Instagram account stopped being updated after Harry and Meghan stepped back from their senior royal roles in 2020, and his final post was shared in March of 2020. The couple has not been on social media presence since, but Meghan has hinted that a return to Instagram might be in their future. In a 2022 interview with the New York magazine The Cut, the Duchess of Sussex says, "Do you want to know a secret? I'm getting, I'm getting back on Instagram." Although Meghan would not relay, she was no longer sure that she would actually return to Instagram. Later in the interview, she appears to be considering the move amid the launch of her Archetype podcast. Meghan shut down her social media profile, including her Instagram page, with 3 million followers and lifestyle blog Fatigue after getting engaged to Prince Harry. It was a big adjustment, a huge adjustment to go from that kind of autonomy to a different life, she said in the interview. So there you go. That is what People Magazine had to say about it. Now, let me take a look here. I think there was happy birthday, Chantel Dixon. And thank you, Lydia Washington, for sharing that. Chantel, happy birthday and many, many, many happy returns of the day. Wow. So, good news today all around. There's Chantel's birthday, and of course, the Sussexes with their new, their new website, which links to a couple of the old ones, including Archewell, which is still going, but the Sussex Royal, not so much. So, yeah, very good news. Well, I am very, very happy. Okay, and in the spirit of that, as you know, we have to, let me see. There we go. This is what we have to do. Hello. Hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy. Today is Lilibet Diana Mountbatten-Windsor's birthday. Meet me at the Royal Sussex party. Church Nellie's gonna be there. All right, Ivy out. You know what? I have not come down from my high yet. As you know, all right, there we go. And thank you, Lydia Washington. Congrats on the 52K subscribers. Well done. Thank you so much for that. And thank you all for being here. On that night, we roll over to another 1,000. And thank you, Lydia, for recognizing that. I really, really appreciate all your help. Okay, let's get back here. Wait, what did I do? Do that. Oh, I see. I was like, why can't I get out of there? Okay. Thank you, Live, Love, and Laugh for another day. Thank you so much for being here, and hello to you too. Educate you too. Thank you for the super sticker, and thank you for being here tonight. Greatly appreciate it. All right. Hey, B10 pal. Okay, and take that away. So, is Harry and Meghan's 2.0 as couple launch Sussex.com royal rebrand with website for the office, for the office of Prince Harry and Meghan, which modestly insists pair are shaping the future through business and philanthropy. Well, they are. Yes, they are. They are going to make this world a much better place. Something each of us can do, one relationship at a time or through other means. So I don't think that's saying too much. Thank you, Lydia Washington. I understand you've got on my case about that before. Okay, I am speaking it into existence. Recollections may vary on Prince Harry and Meghan's new website, as Duke neglects to mention royal family at all in his profile, as Duchess devotes just one line to her acting career in 588-word biography. Well, leave it to the Daily Fail to point out the fact that there was 588 words in a biography. Gee, I must have lost count somewhere past I actually didn't care. But somewhere right now, there are people going through the Archwell and the Sussex.com with a fine tooth comb. They're listening to everyone on all the various social media platforms, hoping to find something as per usual. So Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, is a humanitarian, military veteran, mental health advocate, and environmental campaigner. He has dedicated his adult life to advancing causes that he is passionate about and that advance permanent change for people and places. And as for our Duchess, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is a feminist, a and champion of human rights, gender equality. Her lifelong advocacy for women and girls remain a constant thread in her humanitarian and business ventures. She has been named one of the most influential women in the world in rankings, that is, including Time Magazine, most influential people, and the Financial Times, most 25 most influential women, Variety, Power of Women, and British Vogue 25. Oh gosh. Anyway, so just to name a few, but yes, she is one of the most influential women in the world today, which is why they keep constantly talking about her over and over and over again. They constantly write about the Duchess and then claim she's overexposed because they won't stop talking about her. So there you go. This is the introduction to both Harry and Meghan's profile pages on their new website, Sussex.com. See there? Sussex.com. Leg says, "Oh, honey, Daily Mail, Royal Rota, British Royal Family. It was intentional. Move on." Here, here. Thank you, Legs. Yes, there was just an adequate amount of shade with the way that this was written. And over here, and I'm so glad they did this because the Royal Rota, they tried to ignore all this information, and the derangers, they constantly tried to declare that the Sussexes are the lazy ones when we all know who's lazy over in Narnia. But Invictus Games Foundation, Travelers, Centabale, Wellchild, African Parks, Better Up, Aspen Institute Commission, the Archwell Foundation, and Archwell Productions. So those are just the things that you can link to from the site. And I'm so glad that they included African Parks because they were hoping to create an atmosphere where Harry will try to avoid the mention of it or avoid the existence of it lest he should bring attention to his work with them. But Harry's not a coward. And of course, this ploy of theirs to try and, I guess, taint the image of the Duke of Sussex because of that horrible incident that happened. Harry handled that appropriately, And then, of course, some of the powers that be would pretend otherwise, but when he found out about it, he did what he could do about it. I mean, he can't go over there and try to police the situation. That's not his function. It was investigated for some time. With any of these NGOs and not-for-profit organizations, there's always going to be a situation like this, unfortunately, where you need someone with name recognition to bring attention, to help raise funds and awareness. Unfortunately, some things that are happening on the ground uh, are unavoidable. And case in point, Oprah's girls' academy, whatever that school was that she opened, something that she opened as of a promise to Nelson Mandela. I mean, Nelson Mandela had such an impact that when he told Oprah, well, not told her, but it was a result of their conversation. And Oprah wanted to do something. She wanted to do something that would definitely be part of her legacy, but also Oprah, who is all about the empowerment of women because it's so important. It's very important because if you can lift women out of poverty, it can perpetuate growth for the entire family. Let's face it, sometimes the life expectancy for men in certain areas and women in certain areas can be very low. There's war, there's famine, there's a lot of things that happen. And sometimes these women are widowed and are forced to be the breadwinners. So, educating girls, and, especially in places where sometimes they insist the boys need the education, but educating girls is equally important to a family. So, I'm glad she's got involved with that. But we all know what happened at that school. That's what I'm trying to get to. We all know what happened with that school. I'm not going to repeat it, but as they say, no good deed goes unpunished. And it was something that had nothing to do with Oprah. She was thousands of miles away, but she had to, get involved and make sure that they hired the right people. So it was a nightmare, and that could happen anywhere. And shame on some of those haters for trying to use that against Harry. I mean, literally, I have seen any good news for Harry, you will find that some deranger, will tag something about that in the article. I'm sorry, in the posting. They will tag that in the posting. You should be careful who you're this and this and that. And I'm just like, seriously? They don't care what benefits any of these things have for humanity. The important thing is to perpetuate hate. Now we have a clean, uh, open, well organized website where the Sussexes can speak for themselves. If you need reference to what they're doing and how they do it, when they do it, all of it will be mentioned right there on their website in a very easy format to follow. So good for them. Let's see. Love Wins Movement, Baron, how is it a royal rebrand without them using the word royal or mentioning the royal family? Interesting how the UK tabloids are starting to call them the Duke and Duchess more and more. Yeah, because it's like they said, it seems as though there's some conspiracy to try to get them back over there, uh, or at least to make it seem like the royal family has more reach, or maybe people won't notice how hollowed the ranks are for the royal family right now. Kind of hard to say what the intention is, but it is interesting. Let's see, Squatties, the British tabloids will go through the web page and pick if the pick if two pieces pick it to pieces. I'm sorry about that. It is their nature to be critical of anything the Sussexes do. Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame? It doesn't matter how these things benefit, um, anybody or anywhere. It does not matter, just so long as they can perpetuate hate and hostility. Thank you, B10 Pow, for 24 months membership, 2 consecutive years of membership. Thank you so much for that. Okay. All right, let us continue. Oh, did I finish that? No. Show up, do good. We believe the power of community as a transformative solution to our collective well being. About Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex news. Yes, so when you go to their about, that is where you will find their news. See there at the bottom? Archwell Foundation, Archwell Productions. A nice split. Ernie, let's see. I'm sorry, Emmy Nadafu. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Emmy, I like that name, Emmy. It's pretty. But anyway, thank you so much for the super sticker. And check it out right there. So that is the coat of arms that they're using. It is very subtle. It is very subtle, but it gets the job done. And also, I was going to go through the whole thing about what the coat of arms represent. Then I said, nah, I think I've done that a few times before. TCC, son, I love watching them grow. The site looks great and better organized. I like they're using their coat of arms. Here. How timely that was. See, before you even typed it, before I scrolled to it, I know you had it already locked and loaded and in the chat. So very cool that you mentioned that. And Therese, 1001, thank you for the super sticker. Very cool. Thank you very much. So there it is. I took the liberty of superimposing the colorful coat of arms on top so you can see what it actually looks like. So this is their very subtle one, right? Just enough. And then this is the one that was created by, there's actually an artist, there's a committee of people that create the coat of arms. So you can see the bird that represents our Duchess speaking ability, I think, and the feathers, the Duchess writer, and the gold stripes that represent, those two gold stripes represent the rays of the California sun. And of course, the golden poppy of California. And then as for Harry, you can see the heraldic beast. The lion usually represents someone of nobility. And there is I think that crown is for a baronet. Yeah, I think that's anyway, this is a combined coat of arms. They do have their individual coat of arms, but this is the combined coat of arms. So let's see, there's the dragon, I think. That represents, let me see, who is the dragon? The dragon is Wales, the lion is England, and the harp is Scotland. And this one does not have the unicorn. No, I'm sorry, the harp is Ireland. That usually means Ireland. And it doesn't have a unicorn, which usually means Scotland, right? But, and then I don't know what the other flower is, but that's represents England. So all of that stuff is included. And if you look at the collar around the lion, that collar, it has, I believe that's a star. Anyway, that represents the Spencer side of the family. And the reason why the little bird is not wearing the crown on his head is because Meghan was not born into the royal family. She married into the royal family. Some people didn't like it because it, it's around like the bird is being, collared or something like that. But no, it's a certain way that they do that stuff, and that committee, based on tradition and based on rules, they decide how that stuff go. So that being said, let me see. Harry and Meghan coat of arms. Now I want to test my knowledge. I want to test my knowledge now. Let me see. I'm looking at the actual thing right now. And it says, coronet laid down by the royal warrant 1917, son and daughter of the heir apparent, composed for two, what is that, crosses? This is kind of blurry. And the Duchess, supporter, holder of the shield. Let me see. It's a songbird with wings elevated as if flying, and open beak, which with quail represents the power of communication. See, I told you it's for Meghan's ability to speak. And then, of course, the golden rays, I got that right. The quails is for words, for written words, right? Actress, activist, absolutely. So that's what those feathers are for. Now, the red dots that you see beneath the feathers, I didn't get that one. That represents Pacific. Oh yeah, okay. The blue background is for the Pacific Ocean. I overlooked that one, and of course the rays of the sun. And Meghan was born in L.A., so that's what the red dots are for. Yeah, that's what those are for. And then let's see, for Harry, the golden poppies of California. That's for Meghan. And then the Chinese shrub, which grows in Kensington Palace. Okay, so those other things are like some Chinese shrub, it says. And then Harry's crest, quartered arms of England, Scotland, and Ireland. I got that right. And let's see. And let me see. Harry's supporter of the lion with the white collar featured 3 red scallops for Princess Diana's coat of arms. Okay, and then that's pretty much all it says. This is not the most detailed example, but the guy who designed it, his name was Robert J. Parson from the College of Arms. So they have a college that comes up with these coats of arms. So yeah, there we go. All right. YM Droid says, thought the dragon was Cammy sneaking herself in. Thank you, YM Droid. Yes, the dragon representing the queen consort. That actually sounds appropriate. I mean, I could just see the queen consort as a dragon making those that horrendous sound, just like a dragon. You know which sound I'm talking about, right? That sound. Yes, that sound. That's the one that I'm speaking of. Well, you asked for it. Lorna Williams says Harry and Meghan emblem is merged, while the Will and Kate's coat of arms, they have 2 separate emblems foreshadowing future events. Let me see. Now, oh, by the way, thank you for that. I want to see that. William and Kate's coat of arms. Combined coat of arms, William and Catherine. Now, the acorn on theirs, I think that represents the merchants, right? But, Let me see. Harry and Meghan, they have separate coats of arms too, but I think it depends on which one you're looking at, I think, because they have their combined and then they also have their individual. And Megan's individual looks more like the one that you see there. Oh, well, you know what? You know what? Why am I doing that when I know I have it right here? I was about to look for it and I have it right here. So if you take a look on the left, that is Harry's. Oh my God, I was about to call him Harold. That is Harry's individual coat of arms. And the one on the right is Meghan's, which is funny because even Meghan's by itself still looks like theirs together. But yeah. But anyway, Harry's by himself. You can see, oh, that's that medal that he always wears. See the thing at the bottom? He always wears that for those formal occasions. And notice that the unicorn has the crown around its neck. So you see, it wasn't just for Meghan's sake. I don't know why it's like that, but you can see that it is on the unicorn's neck. And yeah. And then, too, you'll notice that he has the additional heraldic beast or the lion at the top, which I think means that he was born royal. So there you go. Now, let's see. Leg says, in Wanks, Kate Creature is... Oh man, I'm looking at it. I'm not sure why that's like that, but yeah. But yeah, you know what? That is interesting though, because that is theirs combined, which the Sussexes, I don't think they have one like that one. I don't think they have their combined one. I don't think it looks like that. Harry and Meghan's coat of arms. Yeah, I don't think they have one with the double shield. I think they have the one that I showed you before, and that's it. Yeah, and that's it. I don't think they have like the two separate shields like the Wellses. Yeah, the Wellses, they have two separate shields for some reason. I see what you mean. It's kind of like it foreshadows the future, right? Okay, so again, this is theirs combined, which I don't know why it is supposed to look different from the one on the right side, but it does. But no, it doesn't. It actually, well, I think Meghan's is theirs combined. Maybe that's what it is. Let me see. Meghan Markle's coat of arms. Yeah, no difference. It's the same thing. Imagine that being your job. That's what you do for a living is design coats of arms. Duchess of Sussex. Yeah, that's it. Their combined coat of arms is her coat of arms. So just I thought it was something different to it, but I guess not. All right. Thank you very much. Let's move on. So Prince Harry and Princess Meghan, the Sussexes. Now, here are a few of the photos that were shared on the website. Funny thing is, some of the squatties posted these photos, and that's how I found them. I'm going to go and really dig into that website because I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that I couldn't find, but there's so much more to it than before. So I am going to spend some time digging into that one. And here's another one. Love this photo. And check out Meghan's apron. Did you guys see that? Archwell Foundation. Yeah, very cool. And of course, this is one of the photos. You've seen this before. And this photo, love this one. And this is a new one. I've never seen this one. This is the first time I've seen this. But that's on the website. So if you haven't been on the website, you may find quite a few photos that you've never seen before, or at least a handful of them. But that one is pretty cool. Each of us can change our communities. All of us can change the world. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Archwell Foundation. Ha, very cool. Now, here's the good news. Invictus Games, Vancouver Whistler 2025, and Boeing presenting partners. Yes, Boeing is back. As you know, Boeing was one of the sponsors in Dusseldorf. Well, they're back to sponsor again. And check it out. Boeing commits to partnership with the Invictus Games, Vancouver Whistler 2025, and the Invictus Games Foundation through 2026. Huh? Through 2026. So that came out today. And I love that photo of Harry. I just kind of found that one on the Twitter. Someone shared it, and I thought, isn't that something? I looked at that and I thought about the commitment from Boeing. And I'm just like, who would have thought this little boy would be out there negotiating things like this, using his personality, his charm, his intelligence, even his wit to negotiate stuff like this. And it's something that he did away from that den of vipers. He had to sneak around to do it, lest his brother would try to discourage him. But God always makes a way, and he did, or she did, and now Harry's the man. He's doing it. So let's see. We are excited to announce that Boeing has committed to strengthening its partnership with the Invictus Games Foundation and will support our work to 2026. This partnership will help ensure our sport that is, recovery opportunities are available year-round for all members of the Invictus community. Boeing will also now serve as the global presenting partner for the Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025. So there you go. You are my hero, says that placard right there. Well, let me see. Veterans make us better. Oh, I love that. Veterans make us better. So congratulations to the Invictus Foundation for this continued partnership with Boeing. Okay, you're right. I forgot to mention the courtiers. I forgot to include them. Yeah, they're all in this hive of evil. So Robert Jobson, Invictus might fail because Prince Harry is not a working royal. Really? Really? And yet, here we see on the right side, things are getting fast as Team US prepares Invictus Games 2025. Stay tuned for updates from this week's training camp. It is onward and upward. And the thing is, Invictus is not just 1 week, or, you know what I mean? It's not just a handful of days. It is a year-round thing for people who need sports to help bring them out of their shell, so to speak, to help get them motivated, to give them a reason to be in some cases. It's a year-round thing. And that's why in Dusseldorf, the German military people were saying, we need this Invictus year-round. they saw the benefit of it firsthand, and it was a real wake up call. Here you got all of these big shots coming to the games and seeing these veterans competing, and what it does for their character, for their mental health and well being. And so now they want to make sure that they have some type of Invictus year round, not to compete with, of course, the Invictus Games, but almost like a partnership to work alongside to help keep that momentum going, to help that community flourish. So it's a good thing. And of course, a veterans community in Germany, I learned a lot about that. I mean, it just, wow, they did not have that kind of support before. People were hesitant to even see anything like that created. Skeleton will be making his Invictus Games debut at the Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025, presented by ATCO. The venue will be the Whistler Sliding Center, another elite level facility that will provide an exciting and unique new sport for the competitors. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Jobo, I was like looking at a clip where you could just see him trying to think of something negative to say. He just has to really dig sometimes. And if you have to go through all that, just don't say anything. Just don't say anything. Now, here's a few photos of the terrain. You can see February, what is that? Oh, that's in French too, right? February. February. Is that how they say February in French? Anyway, these were recently taken, obviously, but you can see they got the banners up and everything, and those are going to be up for a year. And check this out. Oh, can't see that, can we? Let me pull this down. Oh, now that's too small. Hold on. I'll look someplace else. There we go. Is that BC for British Columbia? BC Place and Van Convention Center. Van Conventions are lit up tonight to mark the 1 year to go until Invictus Games 2025, another marquee international sporting event on the horizon for our province. Look at there. I mean, the people are excited about it. They are excited about the Invictus Games. That is so cool. And I hope that means a great turnout. I really do. I hope that means a really, really great turnout. So a year countdown, you guys. And here's another angle of the convention center. Oh, very interesting. Looks like a crown. And this is one of those AI photos. This is one of those AI photos, but I love it. Harry's sitting in the big wing-back chair, and take a look at the shag carpeting. Haven't seen anything like that since the 1970s. Oh my God, I remember the shag carpeting. It just didn't make sense. The shag carpeting did not make any sense. And I wouldn't know what skyline that is, but it is a virtual image, so it could be anywhere. But yeah, so that is Harry, I suppose, lounging in some vista in Vancouver or whatever. I don't know. But it's cool. For some reason, in the AI, his left foot didn't come out. I had to kind of create that myself. And the AI had trouble creating the foot in the contrast of the skyline, so I had to kind of make one. Now, Trevor Noah's team has discussed renegotiating his Spotify contract as the creative relationship soured just 6 months in. Kim Kardashian produced 8 episodes in 2022 and nothing since. Bryn Brown gone, whatever that means. Jameel Hill gone, and maybe Spotify's problem lies within. And that was a quote from one of the squatties that it seems to be Spotify that has a problem. Well, we know it wasn't Meghan because, well, I mean, after all, Meghan's podcast was incredibly successful. In case you missed this, Spotify, Archetypes by Meghan, a huge success. Since its launch, Meghan's podcast has been among the top 3 or 4 most followed in the world. It talks about a topic that I believe interests many women, namely to be labeled a certain archetype. Don Ostroff, Chief Content Officer at Spotify. Well, obviously, that is an old thing that was posted. But the thing is, I keep my receipts. You hear that? I keep my receipts. So when I saw that thing about Trevor Noah, I said, let me go and look at my receipts. Like this one right here, the Gracie Awards, right? The Gracies, congratulations. And then over there on the right, the People's Choice Award for Archetypes, the New York Times bestsellers list for The Bench. I mean, come on. This isn't one of your pals you're talking to, right? This is Royal Sussex. And then right there, Meghan Markle set the bar so high with podcasts, Kate's radio stint, no real comparison. Isn't that a wicked laugh? Well, even the Express realize. And then here on the right, you can see the Duchess of Sussex becomes the queen of Spotify. Meghan dethrones Joe Rogan as streaming site's most popular podcast. Meghan Markle dethrones Joe Rogan as most popular podcast on Spotify. Yes. See, we were not dreaming. That really did happen. Because of Meghan's talent. And then, of course, this horrible person, Camilla Tominey, the more Meghan Markle speaks, the less anyone wants to listen. Her new Spotify podcast, Archetype, epitomizes the law of dimming returns. Well, she said that August 27th? Yeah, August the 27th. And let me see. Archetypes podcast. Let me see, when did that premiere? I'm trying to figure out, when did it start? Did she say that before, or was that something that was written in advance? Whatever the case is. Oh, here it is, August 23rd. So Archetypes podcast, this is what it says online on Google. It debuted on August 23rd. And on August 27th, this horrible individual, this tacky individual, was so prepared to say that it was diminishing returns. It epitomized the law of diminishing returns. In other words, that it was useless, that it wasn't good, that it was a failure. Only for Meghan to go on and win the People's Choice and to dethrone Joe Rogan. This is why it's important to keep these receipts, so that people will know. They will know the real story. See, they want to demoralize anyone who supports the Sussexes. That is their goal, is to demoralize you so that you will lose interest and move on. Well, forget it. Not a chance. Not a chance. Emily Prescott, Spotify will let Harry and Meghan place pandemic information on their Archwell page following Joe Rogan's misinformation row. Well, the thing is, Harry and Meghan, I think one of the reasons, and this is just my opinion, one of the reasons why they had a disagreement at Spotify, this is just one reason, in my opinion, this is alleged, was because of this. Because how could you, in good conscience, want to, and I'm one of those people who had no problem going to get the jab. And while I wasn't pushing it on other people, I was glad that it was available, and that, knock wood, to date, I don't think I've had it. So, plus I still wear a face mask. But the point is, because of it, because of the jab, that is, it gave me confidence to go into spaces I would have avoided. Okay. So again, I could understand why the Sussexes, who we don't know if they've ever had the jab or not, but they wanted to make sure it was available to other people. And they wanted to make sure that the science was being respected. So it's okay to disagree, but misinformation is not okay. So I don't know what was said on Joe Rogan because I didn't watch it. But apparently there seemed to have been a disagreement between the Sussexes and Spotify. Not with Joe Rogan, but with Spotify being the facilitator of what may have been a lot of misinformation. So they, I believe, were not doing anything for a period of time for that reason. This is just my guessing, my opinion. I don't know that to be true, but I think there was a falling out because of that. Spotify makes changes as Harry and Meghan joins calls to address the pandemic misinformation live updates. So it was spoken about at the time, and there seemed to be a conflict with not just the Sussexes, but there were other people that complained. But Harry and Meghan apparently made their opinions known to management. And then, of course, this lovely collage that was put together by one of the squatties. I shared that with you, I think, last week. But you can see here just a few of those situations that they have been involved in since they left the senior royal duties, and they branched out on their own. They have been very, very busy. They have been doing the Lord's work. That's what they've been doing. And they continue to. So, and in particular, Harry has been super visible. And that's a good thing. I mean, because we all know Meghan is going to do what she needs to do. But Harry, I, of course, never doubted him. But at one point, I was afraid he was working too much. I'm like, another job, Harry? Another job? I mean, look at how many hats that he's worn since he left from over there. And of course, isn't this how things started the week? Where you had Harry with that surprise appearance, followed by his brother with what they said was scheduled, but we don't know that. But I think the investiture was a last minute thing. But there they are, both presenting an award, a trophy, an emblem, whatever, for working hard, for doing the right thing, for being a part of the community, for inspiring people. And yet Harry, tanned and elegant in his suit, compared to that tyrant brother of his who seemed a bit wobbly on his feet, excessive blinking, Yeah, there was a lot of things going wrong. Singling out, well, not singling out, identifying the two Filipino nurses. There was a lot going wrong. And of course, by the time those photos was taken, only one of the brothers had actually spent time with their father, and the other one, as far as we don't even know if he spent time with his wife. So there you go. There you go. Now, I saw this picture of Princess Anne and I saved it because I was just like, wow, she is working that afro. Well, Anne has always had this hair that just would not lay down. And like she has her finger in the socket or something like that. And I started thinking about it with those drop sleeves and that big bushy hair. Why does she remind me of the chiffon margarine lady? Yes, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. Yeah, she reminds me of the chiffon margarine lady. And so, pardon me while I take you guys back in time to the 1970s, where this actress actually appeared on commercials for chiffon margarine. It was supposed to be so creamy and so smooth and everything that you thought the margarine was actually butter. And when she declared that it was butter, and whoever gave it to her said, "No, no, no, it's margarine," she would raise her arms up, and you would hear thunder and lightning. She'd say, "It's not nice to fool Mother Nature." So yeah, that's what Anne reminds me of. I kept looking at that photo, and that's why I saved it. I'm just like, she reminds me of something, and I don't know what it is. And finally, it hit me: the chiffon margarine lady. Yep. By the way, the actress that played this part, well, let me see. I think her name was Dina Dietrich. She just passed away in 2020. Yeah, Dina Dietrich. She was born in 1928 and she passed away at age 91 in the year 2020. So I never even knew her name, but she was a television actress mostly. She was in a whole bunch of series and such. So that is who she is. And you can see that striking resemblance. So it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. And take a look there. Again, this is why now Princess Anne's wedding dress is like the inspiration for Princess Leia on Star Wars, and also the chiffon margarine lady was obviously the inspiration. I don't know who inspired whom. I don't know who inspired, but you can see how her sleeves drop down there. You know, you guys enjoying this trip back down memory lane? Congratulations, Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry expands network deal to include TV series Beauty in Black, first series ordered. So Tyler Perry is expanding his deal with Netflix, adding TV series to the mix. Netflix announced Monday that it had added a multi-year first look series packed with Perry on the previous featured film pack he sealed in October with the streamer. As part of the expanded relationship with Netflix, Perry is developing the 16-episode, hour-long drama Beauty in Black, which he will write, direct, and executive produce. According to Netflix, Beauty in Black follows two women leading very different lives, while Kimmy is struggling to make a living after her mother kicked her out, and Mallory is running a successful business. They find themselves entangled in each other's lives. Woo, that sounds juicy, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound interesting? Now that sounds very, very interesting. I bet you that'll be really good. And take a look there. Tyler Perry Studios, East Point, exit 1 mile. Don't you love that? And then, of course, welcome to Tyler Perry Studios. Tyler Perry deal with Netflix replaces previous multi-year content partnership with Paramount Global that he sealed in 2017. Did they say Paramount? Isn't that the same place that they were hanging out with the? Okay, Harry and Meghan. When the company was known as Viacom, Perry has a separate ongoing relationship with BET, which he partnered with in 2019. Wow, when does this guy ever get to rest? To create content for both the cable network and its new streaming service, BET. Over the course of 4 years, Perry created hit series like Sisters and The Oval, which recently hit its 100th episode. Those shows then spawned, that is, spin-offs, including, how come I don't know any of these? Zatima, featuring sister character, and Ruthless from The Oval. He has more than 10 series at BET and remains a part owner of BET. Wow. He has been busy. I didn't know all this stuff. Perry was among the moguls looking to purchase BET when Paramount Global briefly flirted with selling the company. Perry's new creative partnership with Netflix to write, direct, and produce feature films under multi-year first look deal announced in October spans 8 pictures over 4 years. Perry's upcoming films with Netflix include the World War II set drama 6888, starring Kerry Washington, and the thriller Mea Culpa, starring Kelly Rowland. Wow. Perry's relationship with Netflix stretches back to previous films, including A Jazzman's Blues, A Medea Homecoming, and A Fall from Grace. Well, here. Congratulations. I think Tyler Perry deserves applause. Well, I wonder if the Sussexes might want to get a second home in Georgia, right? So that they can have some of their productions go through the Tyler Perry Studios. That is a stroke of genius, opening up your own studio. Isn't that the largest studio in the country right now? Isn't that the largest one? That is a stroke of genius. Wow, wowee. And with all of that going on, Tyler Perry is getting a pilot's license or training for a pilot's license. Yeah, Ebony Unicorn. I was kind of immersed into all of that stuff this weekend. And I'll say this much. For all of what's been happening, it's been a bonanza for content creators on YouTube, right? I mean, it's just like this begot that and that begot this, and every place you turn, there's no limit to how many people have some kind of video about it. Can't we all just get along? Can't we all just get along? Yeah, that's what I'll say about that. I mean, I have more to say, but I'm just going to leave it alone because this is one of those situations where we're forced to choose. And I have enough going on with the Sussexes, so I don't want to get caught up in that thing right now. But yeah, it is no limit to the imagination when it comes to that topic. It could go either way. Yeah, I'm just glad for what Tyler Perry's doing right now. And I'm glad that it's something positive happening involving the Black community. We need that. And for years, like when we hear people fussing about the Oscars, go get your own award. Don't give the other people so much power, because even though it is nice to be recognized, the corporate motion picture, um, what is it, the Academy of Arts and Sciences, um, it is a huge honor, but it doesn't make you any better as a person. If you have talent, you have talent. And also, um, there's no big payoff. I don't know that anybody wins the Oscar and suddenly makes more money. There's only a handful of people that really benefit from having the Oscar. Julia Roberts has an Oscar and she don't work that much. A lot of people have Oscars and they just don't work that much. It almost seems like a curse. So, um, yeah, that's it. Do some things that reflect the Black community more. There's what, the Geo Awards. Isn't that a Byron Allen? Didn't he create that? Got to come up with something else. But to look to the Academy every year and then complain and stuff like that, all of that complaining when you can be working, right? Instead of complaining, look to work. Instead of complaining about who won't hire you, start your own. Start your own. Um, I actually looked at Tasha K, and she got into the whole thing about Monique and who else, and Tyler and Oprah and this and that. And I think she uh, said a lot of what I was thinking. And then Stephen A. Smith, or whatever, the sports guy. Oh my God, he was brilliant. It was like he was the opposite side of the same coin as Tasha K, but they didn't say the same things. They certainly didn't say it the same way. But if you haven't seen them speak about it, then you're missing something, because I thought they was brilliant. I thought they were brilliant. And that is as much as I'll say about that, is that they spoke for me. So if you want to know how I feel about things, then watch Tasha K talk about it from like 2 nights ago, or watch Stephen A. Smith from a couple days ago, and I'm like almost in full agreement with them. They were brilliant. Uh, yes, Susie Q, that's true. And while I might have my feelings about Oprah, I usually keep those to myself, because I think by and large, Oprah does an incredible amount for the community. And I, I mean, I have some Oprah episodes that I was very critical of, where I thought she had overstepped the mark. But I admire what Oprah has done for herself, what she's done for others. And in the same way that when people talk about a cup of coffee and how much it costs, they target Starbucks. And Starbucks has done so much for so many people. Starbucks, years ago, I don't know how it is now, but years ago, when you would work at Starbucks, you would start with a $50,000 life insurance policy. You worked 30 hours and you had full health care. Especially for a family struggling, it was a great second job. They had lots of benefits. And there was a time when the founder of the company didn't know how he was going to make payroll. There was a story about a guy with uh, Starbucks during the early days of the AIDS epidemic, when people were still dying, when it wasn't a chronic illness, because of the promise to provide health care. one of the early employees, drained a lot of resources from the struggling young company. And you don't hear that side of things, right? Or McDonald's. Look at how many people have worked at McDonald's. That was their first job. And yeah, it wasn't like, a glamorous thing like getting a job at the Plaza Hotel, but when you needed it, it was there. And a lot of people have worked there. And, that's the only place where a lot of people can get a hot meal. And when I travel, I promise you, instead of like just buying street food, when I'm on the go, if I see a McDonald's, I go there because, they have a great record for hygiene and stuff like that. And I just don't need to get sick when I'm traveling. So, um, inexpensive, available. I know it's on the menu in most places. McDonald's. I'm not a McDonald's hater. Um, but they're the target. When if there's fast food, you go after McDonald's. These very successful American corporations have provided for a lot of people. Yeah, and yeah, I wish they would pay more. I wish they would this and that, but um, they have done a lot for people, and I think that this hostility, at least be better informed before you go after these companies. Be better informed. Try to find the good that they've done instead of always pointing to what's terrible about Walmart. I mean, Walmart has been predatory. Amazon is predatory, but if they didn't do it, some other company would come along. Some other company would take that same space, because when the technology is available and people use that technology, would it be any different if they changed the name? I don't think so. So yeah, I'm very liberal, but I'm also very pro business. M. Covington, thank you so much for being a member, and thank you for the super sticker. And Raffaella Bertoni, thank you so much for the Euro super sticker. And thank you so much for being here. Grazie, grazie. Okay. And let me see here. Oh, was that it? I guess that was it. Was it? Did somebody roofie me? Was that it? I guess it was. Yeah, that was it, you guys. I'm done. Well, love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Let me see. Beverly says, Barry, you said that you were going to make this podcast an hour. You are over by 17 minutes. Yes. Well, now 24 minutes. So thank you. I got a little sidetracked, but we came close. So thank you very much, everyone. And thank you all for your very generous and thoughtful contributions to the success of Royal Sussex. Thank you for trusting me to do this work. That is always, always the most important thing to me. Thank you so much for the 52,000 subscribers. I'm speaking into existence. Oh, yeah, thank you very much for that. And yeah, that's it. Let me see. Um, yes, that and the name and names. Oh, Dansby. Okay. I didn't really want to go into this, but you knew which button to push, didn't you? Um, the phone call thing, something like that. I feel like that is supposed to be in a court of law, not the court of public opinion. It even seems like it's a case to be made. If you have a recording, there's a case to be made. I don't think it's a strong case, but a case just the same. And then I'm going to say one more thing that bothers me. I said to my sister, I said, how could you work for that much money? Well, okay, okay. This one gets me. So Wanda Sykes allegedly did not like the amount of money that was offered by Netflix. So Wanda Sykes moved on. Wanda Sykes didn't call out anybody. Wanda Sykes didn't play anybody's recording. Wanda Sykes moved on and kept working, whereas someone else got stuck in the moment and decided to go on this campaign against Netflix. Okay, whether or not you're right or wrong, why do we know Wanda Sykes' name? Why do we know Wanda Sykes turned them down? Did Wanda Sykes say, use my name every time you try to build this case? Use my name, right? That bugs the crap out of me. Then I heard Stephanie Mills' name was brought up. I sent that message to Stephanie Mills. Did Stephanie Mills say, please identify me as to one of the people that you appealed to? And I could go on. Al Sharpton. Who else? Well, anyway, there was a handful of people. And I'm just like, why do we know these people's name? If you're so sure that you're right, why do you keep saying these people's names? That bugs me. That is driving me crazy. Every time I hear it, I cringe. It doesn't matter whether you're right or you're wrong. Do you have a right to use other people's name outside of a court of law? The court of public opinion is a powerful thing. But if you really have a case, then take them to court. And I'm just like, Wanda Sykes didn't ask for her name to be thrown out there. And I just see someone just liberally throwing these names out. And I said to so-and-so, for the babies that's coming up behind us, I don't want these. And I'm just like, there's babies behind me? There's babies? What babies? Do they have a knife? Who's behind me? Now, every time I see something move out the corner of my eye, I think it's a baby coming up behind me. I think there's some little babies with little studded leather jackets and Tony Lama boots running up behind me. What babies? Should they be up at this hour? Shouldn't they be asleep right now? What babies coming up behind me? I mean, I'm naturally kind of skittish and paranoid. Don't keep telling me that there's babies walking up on people. So I just don't get the and listen, I'm not limiting this to anyone particular person. When I hear somebody say that I'm another Meryl Streep, I love Meryl Streep, and maybe Meryl Streep don't care, but I don't like you invoking Meryl Streep's name. It's saying that I'm not good enough on my own. And telling people how much money Meryl Streep makes, or even Amy Schumer. If her hustle gave her a certain amount of money, that's Amy Schumer's business. And it's just like the ease in which I hear these names. And then it got to the point where whoever this white man was that has been screwing over all these comics all these years, that's the hill that we weren't willing to die on, was that man's name. Now, I looked in the comments and I saw his name. I can't remember it to save my life. But why would you mention every Black person's name and not his name? Am I missing something? You know, it's so easy to hitch your wagon to other people's issues and problems. It's the easiest thing to do. What's not easy is to have the skill to make everything about you. to make everything about yourself and to tie your problem with everybody else's. That takes a lot of skill. Almost the same type of energy that it would take to write a funny joke. I mean, you all have been watching Royal Sussex. I know sometimes I can cut up. I have seen people, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but myself included, that have been funnier just by chance than by claiming that I'm the funniest person alive. And then when I get a break, all I could do is drop F bombs and the N words. And I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but you can see I have a lot to say about it. And, you know, there obviously there's a hurt there, but some people are just jinxy, right? Some people are just a jinx, and they seem to conjure up the worst in everyone, right? And if that sounds like blaming the victim, then that's what it is. But some people just got a very negative aura over them, and you have to avoid people like that. And so, after a while, if everybody has the same war story, if everybody who's owned say the Jaguar, back in the day, they used to have what they call the war stories. Jaguar owners, they love those cars, but they constantly are in repair. They were high performance, but they weren't necessarily the best made vehicle. But if you love them, you love them. And so when you buy one, even though people tell you, man, don't buy that car because you're going to have problems, you buy it anyway. And even though it seems like very logical mechanics, there seems to be a stream of issues that take place while you own that car, whereas someone else can buy one from the same, factory, built on the same day, and have little or no trouble with it, driving it twice as much. And that's just the way life is. But everybody can't be wrong. Everybody can't be wrong. Stephanie Mills, um, what's her name? Wanda Sykes. I don't know that they were okay with that though. Oh, okay. All right. Like I said, it's one thing if they're central to the story, but for the people that you told about it and then they didn't do anything, at that point, I just wouldn't bother with that person. But if the worst offense is you told me and I say I'll look into it, and then you don't hear from me, then that means I don't want to be bothered, right? That means you have created too much heat and I can't be bothered. A court of public opinion and a court of law, they are two different things. And if you really have a case, get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. And that's why I say it's very hard to criticize, because it's not like these things don't exist. It's not to say that somebody is wrong, but the name calling, and I'm going to finish where I started, that name calling is what gets me, especially the people who haven't offended you, but they know about it. And there's like guilt by association. If you tell me about something that affects you as an individual, and I don't know what your relationship is between you and another person, please don't out me because I just didn't return your phone call. Please don't out me for that, especially if we're not the best of friends in the first place. We're just entertainers. That's all we got in common, is we're public figures. Please don't out me. That's what I'm saying. It's not about whether she's right or wrong. It's not about whether, and this is how I feel about it. It's not, I'm not saying what happened to her was right or wrong, but the name calling and even playing the tape and then sharing the tape with other people, you have good evidence. I feel like that belonged in a law, in a court of law, not the court of public opinion. Now, maybe I'm naive, maybe I don't have all the information or something like that. But at the end of the day, I have a right to my privacy too. And if I'm Wanda Sykes, and if I'm, what's his name? Um, uh, Kevin Hart, I loan you money, you pay me back. I say I'll look into this, or maybe we'll work together or something like that. And then I decide not. And I just don't call you. I may have a very good reason to not call you. Like maybe I heard a tape you played of somebody else. Maybe that's the reason why I don't want to call you, is because I heard you play the tape from somebody else. And I have a problem with that. So guess what? I'm not inclined to talk to you right now. Maybe ever. Maybe that's why I don't want to talk to you. Let me tell you something. I've learned some things about people that I've worked with every place I've worked. And because I respect their privacy, I keep my mouth to myself. If I have a problem with somebody, I go to that person. And that is like one of the serious problems that we have as Black people, is that sometimes we go to the person and the Karens go to the management. That's a big problem. But that's my way. I take it to the person. If I have something to say, you'll hear it from me before you hear it from the management. Now, that puts you at a disadvantage sometimes, but that's just the way I was raised. Um, but if I need to complain about something, I ask a person, would you mind speaking up for me? But I'm not just going to throw somebody's name out there, because they got to work with these people too. They got to work with these people too. Oh, was it Essie Minash? I'm sorry, we're not talking about the Sussexes, if that's what you're asking. This has nothing to do with the Sussexes. But yeah, so I hope that answers your question. But aside from the other stuff, I don't. I'm not going to get into that because I don't know what happened. But dropping the names of people that are not central to your argument, just to help build your case, especially if those people haven't given you permission. And I don't know that they haven't, but it doesn't sound to me like those people have given permission to have their names involved in it. That I have a problem with. And I don't like calling out other people's salary. If you're in a workplace or something like that and you know somebody else is making more money, uh, I think you should bring attention to it. But to single out a person, not that you work with them, but through whatever means you found this out and you're using it for leverage, but you're not doing the same job, you don't have the same results, and neither you or the other person is particularly funny. Um, I felt like Netflix were, um, I feel like what happened to them was extortion. I feel like it was extortion. I think they paid just to get out of it. And then the ultimate embarrassment is they settled, they give you a show, and the show sucks. The show is the worst thing ever. The show ruins your reputation as someone trying to create comedy with your platform. I'm not talking about the performer, I'm talking about Netflix. They're trying to build up their comedy chops, and then they have that one show that sucks. It wasn't funny, and the vulgarity, I have a problem with that. Just word after word after word. I was stunned. I was stunned when I saw that. And I was like, somebody make it stop. Somebody make it stop. Not exactly the height of sophistication, is it? That was embarrassing. You make a big fuss about all this stuff. At the very least, you should be funny. And if you're not funny, you know you could pay people to write jokes, right? You could pay someone. This is 2024. They've been doing this since what the since the Chitlin Circuit days, right? Since the vaudeville days, you could pay somebody to write your jokes. But instead of funny jokes, you pepper everything with vulgarity. Well, Sharon Jones, again, I don't really care about all that stuff. I don't care about how that started. That's the thing. I don't really care about that. That's between them. But let me say again, the name dropping, um, the what else was it? The name dropping, the quoting other people's salaries and stuff like that. We don't even work together. That just felt wrong to me. That really felt wrong. I would hate to be a person that gives comfort to someone and then have my name thrown out there and I'm not even central to the story. I'm not even central to the story. And now you got people looking at me sideways, wondering how I feel about them. If I wanted them to know how I felt, I would have told them. But now I have been stripped of the ability to remain anonymous or to remain, what is the word I'm looking for? Impartial. I have had my impartiality stripped. And now you're making me central to a story where all I did was give you words of comfort. Or I told you, well, I just did it the other way. I just did it the other way. I just moved on. But instead of me being able to move on, now you got people hearing that I wouldn't take what they offered me. If I wanted everybody to know that, what if I need to go back to Netflix in the future? And Netflix say, oh no, she's been telling everybody how much we offered her. Wanda Sykes. That's between Wanda Sykes and Netflix. Not Wanda Sykes and then Monique, the wider, greater public, and then Netflix. Wanda Sykes and Netflix. So, yes, you may have won the battle, but you're going to lose the war. Look at how many people that are not in a position to hire you or are in a position to hire you that are afraid to talk to you. If that's winning, better stick with losing. If that's winning, it's better to be a loser because now everybody is afraid to talk to you. And I'm not singling anybody out. I'm really not. I would feel the same way if it was anyone. but the ease in which we are dropping these names, not the names of people that have done you wrong, but the names of people that you mentioned it to. And then you share their confidential conversation with the whole world just to make your case. Please don't ever do that to me. Please don't ever do that to me. If it's something that I want somebody to know, give me the ability to tell that person. But please don't out me. Let me do it myself. Or warn me before you do it so I can let you know whether or not it's okay. Are we all clear on that? That's my position. Don't throw my name in stuff that ain't got nothing to do with me. Just because I've heard your tales of woe, just because I heard you sing another somebody done somebody wrong song, please don't throw my name in it. I got to work with these people. I don't think I could be any clearer. That is what my argument is. That is where I kind of feel less sympathetic, is because of that. It's just like somebody sitting back, telling everybody's secrets and everybody's faults and everybody's complaints about the other person, and then everybody's fighting. Now everybody's fighting. Now I'm looking at you guys' comments, but let me see. You know, let me tell you the first time that I winced when I heard anything about Monique. You guys remember Barbara Walters did the interview? And this black woman, who some people say is representing black excellence, goes on Barbara Walters and tells the world, I have an open relationship. I don't shave my legs. I've done this and I've done that. And I'm just like, girl, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. Yeah. I kind of wish that some people that have open relationships would keep it to themselves. I really do wish some of these open relationships would keep them to themselves. And when I saw that, I was just like, oh, good God. Oh, good God. Okay. That is where I started with Monique. And having said all that, she is one of the most brilliant actors out there. If she would just stick with her acting, right? Because I don't know why this stand up is so funny. I don't know why I'm sorry, not funny, but why it's so important to her, because she's not funny. She's not funny. So act. Please do act. But everybody can't be wrong. Everybody cannot be wrong. It's impossible. Yeah. Yeah. It let me see. Well, I don't know that much about Tyler, but like I say, I have my problems with Oprah. I really do. I have my problems with Oprah. And I suppose if Oprah was the one out here dropping everybody's name, then I would be talking about her much in the same way. But she's not. Yeah, Rory B, doesn't it seem that way? Doesn't it seem that way? It seems like scorched earth, doesn't it? It seems like scorched earth. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Maybe uh, I don't know. I don't know. It's really one of them situations where nobody is going to win. Nobody is going to win this one. Nobody is going to win. Yeah. Well, you guys, I appreciate your honest opinions about this. I really do, because it is something that was that I, like I said, I really immersed myself into it, and I don't know any of these people personally. I have a few core principles that are important to me, and I tend to gravitate toward those. But it's not right for everybody. It's just the way I do things. So um, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, and none of us are privileged to those conversations. We're only hearing bits and pieces from different people. Um, yeah, I saw that. I saw what DL said. I saw what he said, and I agree. It's not a good look. It's not a good look to have pushed so hard to get into the door, and then you're not funny. I'm just like, and I don't even think it's because the expectations were high, but this is somebody who just has not been funny for a long time. I I looked at a lot of comments on the social media, and one of the recurring themes that I hear people say is the vulgarity of it. The vulgarity was a big turnoff, even for people that were very supportive. They have a problem with the vulgarity. And then, to be fair, there are people who have said, well, um, if it wasn't the vulgarity, then it wouldn't have been her. And that's fair. That is fair. If that's what people were expecting, fine. But if you're trying to bring people in that don't know you, or if you're trying to impress people that you've had conflict with, uh, you know, you missed the target. You missed the target. Yes, Stevie Rose, I'm fine. Unless you know something I don't. Unless you know something I don't, I'm fine. I mean, I know my voice is a bit bad, but I just I took it all in, and I've heard different various opinions and experiences and such, and yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. The big loser, of course, is the community itself. The comedians are selling tickets like crazy. These comedians are selling tickets like crazy. So, in a way, I guess you could thank Cat Williams for that. for all these ticket sales because it has awakened people. People want to see the scorched earth. People want to see the um, the petty arguments and stuff. People are paying money to see that. They are. So if that was the Stevie Rose. Oh no, no, no. I'm fine. I'm fine. It's just one of those things. Like I said, you're forced to choose, and nobody is going to win. Nobody is going to win. And what this is doing for the Black community or for the community of comedians, it's just disappointing. I guess what you hear is my disappointment. Yeah, I guess you can hear my disappointment. That's what you're hearing, is that I'm really disappointed that that this is playing out so publicly. And to be fair, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be a public thing. I can't say that I'm right about anything that I said because I don't know these people. They're public figures, and what the amount of money that they're arguing over, or the type of access that they're angry about, that's something I may never see in a lifetime. So it doesn't affect me directly, but yeah, it's just really pitiful that this is playing out so publicly. Uh, yeah, yeah, you got to really want something if somebody wants you to work for free. That's for sure. You really got to know. You got to be strategic about that. You really have to be strategic about that. uh, Thank you. What is it? Arrington W. She and Daddy negotiated poor contracts on the front end. It is not other responsibility to protect you. Then it's not everyone else's duty to speak on your behalf. Build bridges, not destroy them. Well, thank you for that. That's very wise. Um, well, I tell you guys, listen, listen. Let me give you all some homework. Tasha K, like I said, Tasha K spoke about this the other night. Um, and so did Stephen K. Steve was Smith, whatever his name. He spoke about it, and I was on board with what they said. Both of them said different things, but both of them made a lot of sense. Tasha's K big argument was, while you're fighting, other people that you have worked with have moved on and they're making their money. And the other thing she said was that you are trying to get other people to do the production. You're trying to get other people to take you here and to do that. But there's a lot of comedians that are producing their own stuff. They're booking their dates, they're paying the other people, and they've taken ownership. Even what's that girl's name? um she ain't particularly funny either, but people love her, but she ain't that funny. Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish is taking people on the road. She has her own thing, right? She's producing her own shows. What does it take to produce, right? I mean, you have to infuse money into it. And if you're talented, people will loan you the money to get started. They will seed your thing for you. But If people can't trust you because you're going to out their conversations, then nobody's going to work with you. Nobody's going to give you money. Okay. There you go. All right. But listen, you guys, this is not so heavy. Hell, this ain't got nothing to do with us. This really has very little to do with us. This is one millionaire complaining about another millionaire. These people make a lot of money and they have gotten themselves into a business that can be very, very tough. And it's just like I say with the Oscars, there's only a handful of people alive today that will ever touch that trophy. And for some of them, it works out. And for some of them, it's like a curse. You understand? But it's something that most of us, if none of us that are logged in right now, is ever going to experience. So, but it's okay. It's okay to have opinions about these things. So you guys don't assume that because it's a heavy topic that I'm upset or something like that. Because I promise you guys, for the most part, I have so much joy in my life, and I'm in such a good place most days that by the next day, whatever was the problem the day before, I have moved on. I have totally moved on. And this is not my thing, this is theirs. And I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have a dog in the fight. This is other people's stuff. So it's interesting because it's a life lesson. There's lessons to be learned. Whether you agree or disagree, there are lessons to be learned. And I find it interesting the way it's all playing out, which is why I watched so much of it this weekend. Oh, thank you so much. Lydia has the links for Tasha K and Stephen Smith. So if you guys want to just, if you want to start watching them now, just go for it. Or at least get them in the history on your thing, or save the links however you can. And you'll be better informed, I think. They're not exactly impartial. Like I said, I agree with most of what they said. So I'm not saying that they're impartial in any way. But I think they were speaking a lot of truth, in my opinion. So, yeah. And you know what else too that makes it sound worse than what it is like from my tone right now. It's just that this has been dragging on. It has been dragging on, and for the person who is like the center of this storm, they don't seem to have any joy. You know what I mean? They don't seem to have any joy. They say they're happy, they say they have joy, but it seems like everything is different from what they are trying to portray themselves. It seems very different. And especially when it comes to comedy, people are there to laugh. And instead, you have someone prancing across the stage angry about something. And that's why I say maybe a court of law is the place where this ought to be, not in a lounge where people come in to laugh. You know, maybe it belongs someplace else. Maybe it belongs on Shannon Sharp's show. But yeah, it's just I go back and forth and I think about it, and I'm just like, well, this one said this, but then again, that one said that. But I keep coming back to one thing: stop dropping everybody's name, especially if they're not the ones that have done you wrong. They're not even the ones that owe you money. They're not the ones that lost you money, but they're part of building the case. Yeah, Cheryl W. Comedians come from a very dark place. They do. That pain, the pain that they experience. They say that comedy comes from a very dark place. But we all know people in our lives that are just so funny without even trying, you know? And so if somebody that you work with, somebody in your family is just funny without even trying, not that they're in any particular distress, but some people are just funny some days and some days they're not. So all of us are comedians. All of us have the ability to make people laugh. But this is somebody who is obviously hurt. I can't say that she's not in pain. I'm not going to deny that she's in pain because she is. I mean, the pain is there, but there are certain things that whether or not you're in pain, you're just not free to do them, right? You're not free to walk into a crowded theater and yell fire in a crowded theater because that's against the law. You have created a liability for the theater. You may have caused people to get hurt or injured in the panic, and you could get prosecuted for that. And so, certain things we equate to yelling fire in a crowded theater. And essentially, you have freedom of speech, but you don't have freedom to hurt innocent people. And when you throw names around like that, I feel like you're involving people that are innocent just so that you can make your case. And I'm always going to be uncomfortable with that. Always. I could understand if it's, you know, if that person has done something to you, but just because you made them aware of it and then you're dragging them into it too, I'm just like, is that really fair? Is that really fair? Good night, Joanna Hong. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, thank you so much for that. You're always so kind. I really appreciate that. And thank you for being a member. Somebody's going old school. Somebody's going old school. My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. Well, again, everyone, thank you for sharing your thoughts about this because I can see that it's been something that a few people have been thinking about. And we're kind of forced into it. It's almost like talking politics, where by election day, everybody's going to be talking about it. So hopefully, election day has come and gone, and we can all go back to manning our business like we were doing before. But until such time, it's going to be that hot topic where nobody could actually agree. Don't you think so? It's going to be one of those topics where no one can agree. And it's okay. We don't have to agree. Um, yeah. Yeah, Monte Cristo, I feel sad for her in that it doesn't seem to be any joy there. And it's like, as an outside observer, I'm seeing all of these off ramps where you can get off the highway of hell. I see all these off ramps, right? And I'm just like, get off at the next stop. You don't have to stay on this route. Get off at the next stop. There's so many options there. This is someone who is incredibly talented, but now you can't see the talent for the conflict. As Prince Harry said in the docuseries, sometimes all the pain has to come out, then we grow from it. The knowledge of our acts and others, it is difficult when folks waddle in the problem instead of moving on. Yeah. And that is not lost on me that in some respects Harry has been dropping some big truth bombs, right? And in Harry's case, the people that he's been truthing have actively been trying to destroy him and his family. They have actively, they are still, um, you know, attacking them. Kensington Palace, there's still that ongoing thing. So at a certain point, you got to fight your corner. You have to fight your corner. But just yesterday, I was saying that at a certain point, or maybe I didn't say that yesterday, but you have to pick and choose your battles. That's the old rule. You have to pick and choose them. And so they got out what they needed to say, and they're moving on. We may not hear anything from them about that family for a long time, but we all know that it wasn't a single act here and a single act there. It was an ongoing conflict. And it was a one sided war. It continues to be a one sided war. You have the tabloid media, you have the palace courtiers and staff, and you have the royal rota. You have all these entities against two people. Not a fair fight. Not a fair fight. It's not an individual here or there, but every day, 50 articles or more by anybody's standards. That's like a whole nother world. So okay. Yeah, that is a way to look at it, Marshall. That is a way to look at it. That is definitely a way to look at it. It's just, for me, I it's not that I'm not a sympathetic person, but with certain dollar signs involved, and with certain things like where you can see there is, like Tasha K was saying, other people that have been in a similar situation have moved on and they're earning an incredible amount of money. And then you have a handful of people that are still fighting in that one battlefield instead of moving on. They're just stuck in that one thing. And nobody's going to win it. Nobody's going to win this one. And somebody told me, they said, well, Tyler Perry apologized. Well, did he apologize or was it more like an acknowledgement? But either way, I don't think he had a choice, because if he didn't, then he would be stuck. You know what I'm saying? He'd be stuck right there with him. So he said what he said and he moved on. I thought it was wise. Charlemagne the God, he apologized and he moved on. And the way things go, you better. You better. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck there with them. You're going to be stuck there with them. You'll be relitigating the same case over and over and over again. So it don't take much to just acknowledge, accept, and move on. At some point, everybody's got to do that. Oh, okay. Okay. I tell you what, I got a last word for the day. What is it? Zabeda Ali, you have given me the last word of the day. Didn't know you were doing that, did you? I think this is going to sum it up for everybody. Okay.
Bitter. And somebody needs to say it. Bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter.
One more time. One more time.
Bitter. And somebody needs to say it. Bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter.
There you go. Bitter, bitter, bitter.
Bitter. And somebody needs to say it. Bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter.
Do you guys like that? Oh, off ramp. I like that. I like that. One more time. I love that.
Bitter. And somebody needs to say it. Bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter.
Or how about this one? How about this one?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Thank you, Deborah Anderson. Release resentment. There you go. Release it. Let it go. Okay, one more. The very wise words of Stacey Solomon.
I just don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us four sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about what you mean as royals or as, like, Kim Kardashian? Because for me, they're becoming celebrities.
Well, yeah, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen
is their celebrity.
For me, is
I
brilliant.
love the Queen.
No, duty, responsibility.
She's always worked really hard, hasn't
I would
she?
work hard if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
They don't pay for all of the houses. But
just a few.
I love the Queen. You guys, I wasn't even going to talk about this. But listen, you all know Commonwealth Day is coming up next month, right? Listen, William is not leading Commonwealth Day. Charles is not going to Commonwealth Day. And the Queen, I don't know if you guys know this, but she died a couple of years ago. Guess who's leading Commonwealth Day? Huh? Anybody? Guess who's leading the Commonwealth Day? Come on. You can do better than that. Guess who's leading Commonwealth Day? Okay, I'll give you a hint. Yes, you're absolutely right. The Silky Chicken. The Silky Chicken is leading Commonwealth Day, and Willie is going to have to process behind her. Now, I got a feeling that he's going, well, wait a minute. Even if he didn't walk behind her, having to walk in with her is going to be equally awkward. So, whether he's side by side or the unenviable task of walking behind her is still going to look very, very bad. So she's gotten everything that she wants. She is going to lead the procession of royals, because what happens is when they arrive at Westminster Abbey, the senior royals are usually at the door greeting the clergy and the prime minister and all those people there in the receiving line. And then by rank, the lowest ranking of the senior royals stepped to one side. And then the highest ranking senior royals are the ones that process first. And no, actually, did they go first or last? No, they go first. They go first. So Camilla is going to lead William, who is going to lead Sophie and Edward. And then behind them is going to be the Kents, what's left of them, the Kents. So oh boy, William is going to look like he is entering the Westminster Kennel Club, the annual Best in Show. He's going to look like he's processing with the Best in Show. Woo! Can you imagine what the Commonwealth Day is going to look like? I mean, because we know the classic Commonwealth Day roll call. Well, that is a thing of the past. Now there is going to be this stripped down monarchy. And I tell you, it would really be something to behold if somehow they could find a way. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that is why they keep talking about Harry and Meghan coming back. Maybe the idea of this embarrassing situation, maybe Charles will have a miraculous recovery. There is a way that he could be there by entering through the side aisle and making his way to a seat like the Queen did when she walked in with, what's that loser's name? Andrew. Remember when Andrew walked her in? They entered the side. They didn't enter that front door because you got that long aisle and she just couldn't negotiate that. So there is the possibility that Charles might make it in the side entrance where they could actually roll him into the place and nobody would be the wiser. But he could walk. He walked to church the other day. But we don't know what kind of cancer he has, so we don't know what his energy level is going to be like. So either way, it is going to be very, very interesting to watch. So as they say, watch this space. Watch this space because it is going to be off the chain. The only sad thing is that the media is going to downplay it to help them save face, but it is going to be a real crap show. Yep. I wasn't even going to talk about that, but I am I am looking forward to it. The only thing that is going to look, well, you know what, by the time Troop and the Colors come around, Charles will be back and maybe William might show up. But yeah, just picture it in your head. William, the son of Diana, processing into Westminster Abbey behind the woman that had the infamous tampon call. That is like the portrait Norman Rockwell forgot to paint. You know that? Norman Rockwell should have painted that portrait, but he didn't. I'm so messy, but it's just the very thought of it that's making the corners of my mouth touch my ears. And until the Commonwealth Day, it's just about all I could think about. Oh man, if you think William was wobbling and blinking when he was handing out those investitures, just imagine what he's going to look like when he have to walk behind and step in those hoof prints. Just wait and watch him step into Camilla's hoof prints and see how that looks. Oh, Lord. I cannot wait. I'm trying to find a photo, you guys. I'm stalling a little bit because I'm trying to find one of those photos from the Commonwealth Day. Give me a second. I got like the big wide photo of everybody sitting there according to ranks. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let me see. Is this a good one? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. Give me just a second, you guys. Yeah, so William William will sit where Charles is. Camilla, oh good God, if Camilla sits, oh God. Ugh. I don't want Camilla sitting in the Queen's chair. I don't want Camilla sitting in the Queen's chair. It's bad enough looking at that walking corpse wearing the Queen's jewelry, but don't put her in the Queen's chair. Maybe they won't use that chair. Maybe they won't use that chair. But okay, so Camilla in the Queen's seat, right? William and Charles' seat. Okay, so no Kitty. And then after that, you're going to have Edward and Sophie. And then after Edward and Sophie, the Kents, and maybe the Gloucesters, right? The Kents and the Gloucesters. And the black guy back there, they got rid of him a while ago. The equerry, he been gone. And Charles has the new female equerry, and she may go in with Camilla, and she'll sit where the black person back there is sitting. See, bruh man back there? She'll sit somewhere back there. So you hadn't been thinking about this, have you? And right now, this is all I could think about. Chuck walked to church. It's not time. Christmas, Mother's Day, Easter. Okay. Well, yeah, he did walk to church the other day, but he is being treated for cancer. We don't know what state he'll be in. We don't know what kind of cancer, and we don't know that he'll be up to it. But I think, tentatively speaking, he's not going to be there. Okay, there's that rule that William is the highest ranking when Chucky's not there. That is true. That is true. But listen, Camilla is a council of state, is she not? Camilla is a council of state, I believe. So Chucky has the right to create a special whatever exception, just like the Queen did for Philip when Philip acted as a council of state. No, or was he a temporary regent? But anyway, Philip filled in for the Queen because they didn't want Margaret to do it. So Charles can put into writing that Camilla can fill in for him if William's not there. And given William's state at this point, William may not show up, y'all. William may not be there for Commonwealth Day. I'm just putting it out there. William may not show up. I'm just putting it out there. Mark it down. February the 13th, 2024. I'm going to call it at 12:23. I said William may not be there, so don't be surprised if he's not there. So it is 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm finna go, y'all. I'm finna go because I wasn't supposed to be on here this long. Let me see. I don't believe Charles will be back if he is sick with his homeopathic. I'm sorry, if he sticks with his homeopathic medicine, he is at Sandhurst pursuing He needs to take traditional cancer treatment. I remember how sad I was with Bob Marley. Oh, did Bob Marley do the holistic, whatever, homeopathic? Interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, Dansby, you think the same thing, huh? Yeah, I think it's going to be Camilla's day. I think it is going to be Camilla's day. I mean, look at it like this. Charles wasn't supposed to marry Camilla and be king, seeing that they're both divorcees, but he did. Ooh. You know what? I hate to get so excited because it may not be as messy as I hope it is, but I'm hoping that it is going to be absolutely embarrassing. Why did they put the black man back there? Because he's not a family member, I think. At least I don't think he's family. Well, he's sitting according to rank, and he's the equerry for the queen, but he certainly could not sit with the family. So they put him back there where he is. Oh, he's sitting next to. Oh, that is. You know who he's sitting next to? See the lady in the maroon? That's Penny. What's her? No, not Penny. You know, the lady that says, "No, where are you really from?" That's her back there. No. But where are you really from? What is her name? Susan Hussey. That is Lady Susan Hussey. Old friend of the family, lady in waiting to the queen. That's Susan Hussey. And at this point, Philip was retired, so Philip wouldn't be there. And just think, you guys, this was just before everything got shut down. Remember, this was March of 2020. And they had agreed that nobody would shake hands because we don't know how this pandemic is being spread. So I think it was God's will that the Sussexes rode out of town on a wave of glory. They rode out of town with their heads held high. Meghan come walking in there looking like some classic movie screen idol, regal and beautiful, and Harry looking amazing in his suit with his color coordinated lining. And then they were done. They were out of there. They were off to Canada. And well, anyway, she made this huge impression before she left town with a burst of colors. Like, where's that dress? This one. She wore that one. And don't forget the red dress that she wore. I mean, it was just incredible. And then after that, it didn't matter what anybody wore because you couldn't go anywhere. Oh, man. Yep, that was a tour de force performance by the Sussexes. Everything went their way for those couple days, and then they were gone. Yes, Bunny Rose. She looked better than everybody. She put them to shame. She gave them a lesson on how to be a princess. Yep, she gave them a lesson. This is how you Duchess. If you're going to Duchess, this is how you do it. A royal Duchess. This is how you do it. Let me see. Listening to their conversation. Which one? Let me see. Oh, no, not that one. I got to go down here. There we go. Oh, Susan Hussey is... Susan Hussey is listening to their conversation. You know, they went through all that trouble and made a big fuss about hiring that black guy as the equerry. And as soon as Meghan left, that was the end of his employment. They only put him there just so that they wouldn't look like that kind of family. That's right. You can buy fashion. Fashion is something that you buy, but taste is something you either have or you don't. You could always buy fashion, but you can't buy good taste. And that is the truth. Yeah, Steve Jobs, he didn't want to use traditional medicine. And by the time, and the thing is, what makes it so sad is that he was in a very curable position when they found it, because they found it by accident. They didn't find it because he was sick, but it was something else. And when they found it, they're just like, well, we can do this, we could do that. And he said, I think I'm going to go with some traditional medicine, but thank you. I know a couple of shamans that could help me, but thanks anyway. And well, he sowed the seeds of his own destruction by doing that. That was a big mistake. So there's nothing wrong with Western medicine. The life expectancy is so much greater today than it was 100 years ago and 100 years before that. So let those people in the white coats do what they need to do and come on out of there. Really? I never heard that before. I never heard that before. Huh, I didn't know that. Well, you guys will get no trouble out of me. If something like that happens to me, do it any way you like. Traditional is fine. Poison, burn, cut. And now, of course, we have immune therapies. Yeah, give it to me. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Do whatever you want. Fight, fight, fight. Yep. Fight, fight, fight. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Whether I sing it fast or I sing it slow, it all sounds the same. What'd you say, Anime? Whether I sing it fast or I sing it slow, it all sounds the same. I love that. And what's love got to do with it? Whether I sing it fast or I sing it slow, it all sounds the same. What'd you say? I said it all sounds the same. Fellas, me and Anime got some talking to do. Get away from me, Ike. I was like, maybe she shouldn't have said that. Maybe she shouldn't have said that. I mean, out of everything going on, that hurt his feelings. Anime, sing the song like I told you. Whether I sing it fast or I sing it slow, and all sounds the same. I mean, you got to admit, after a while, Tina Turner was starting to sound a bit like James Cagney, wasn't she? Whether I sing it fast or I sing it slow, and all sounds the same. Oh. Well, Marshall, we don't even know what kind of cancer it is, so. We don't know what it is. Get away from me, Ike. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've all seen and witnessed people going through it, and it is a very difficult thing. It's good to have family with you, right? It's always good to have family with you. Yeah, Martine, thank you for saying that. Tina Turner said that she was not afraid. She wasn't afraid. And then, too, um, there had been so much intervention with her over the years with the transplant and everything. So maybe she just didn't want to do anything else. And that's understandable. I mean, how much do you want people to do before you say, okay, enough is enough? She had lived her life and she was ready to move on. The horse died after that pulling the queen's coffin is about to show up in Camilla's place. Yeah, I heard that one of those horses had died. One of the ones that pulled the coffin died. When that happened, I wonder if Camilla was able to take some time off with bereavement pay. Losing a family member and all. I wonder if she got bereavement pay. I'm sure that hit her really hard. Oh, she did that too? I didn't know that. Well, we're not all created equal. And of course, we don't know what kind of cancer Charles has. So I don't think it's really good to speculate about what his chances are because we don't know what he has. They won't tell us. But it must be something awful if they don't want to tell us. The fact that they don't want to, and the whole thing with the rollout of him and with Kate is that it's a lesson of contradictions because with Charles, okay, with Kate, there's all this mystery, right? It was an abdominal thing. Okay. Then with Charles, it's like, full disclosure. Hey, y'all, guess what? The king got big nuts and he's going in hospital, et cetera, et cetera. And now that the king is out the hospital, knowing already that he had cancer, they kept it quiet. And then when they decided to tell us that it wasn't limited to his dangly parts, then they tell us, well, we did find cancer, but we just won't tell you what it is. That seems very irresponsible to me. That leaves people wide, or leaves Charles, it leaves the institution wide open for speculation, right? And I promise you, when I woke up that day and I saw the alert on my phone, someone said the king has cancer. I was so surprised because they had convinced everybody that he was okay, right? So why would they lie about that? They had already known. The thing is, they had already known. When Camilla opened up that cancer center, they had already known, but they decided to keep it quiet. So he may not be at the Westminster Abbey. been there in our faces. Oh, man. Well, I guess if this ain't too crude, but by the way, there are no leaks in Montecito. This may be a bit crude, but how do I put this in a delicate way? Let me think about this. Oh, I know. Okay, I got it. I can handle this. Don't worry. When he gets excited, does his hands get smaller? Huh. When he gets excited, does that make his hands get smaller? During that few minutes when he's excited, will that make his hands smaller? Or does it make it worse? I'm just asking for a friend. Will that make his hands smaller? You know what I'm saying? Because maybe the pressure goes other places. But I guess after all of this intervention, it probably won't work no more anyway. So, yeah. Tell you, if he was angry before, imagine he's going to be really tough to live with now. Yeah. Yeah, well. I'm just asking for a friend because I was wondering if the pressure that's in the hands would travel someplace else. And then his hands get a break. I'm just asking for a friend. I mean, it's like during that moment, does the ring fall off? You know what I'm saying? With all the excitement, is that pinky ring that he wears, is that ring going to just drop to the floor? Oh, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that during the excitement, that ring is just going to, ting, 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 just drop to the floor. Because the pressure has got to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I was just thinking, but then again, it might not be enough to take the pressure off those hands because those hands are huge. It might not be enough excitement to reverse that now that I think about it. Yeah, might not even be anything to, you know what I'm saying? Might not need as much pressure to move. So, and with that very crude remark, I think we're done for today. I really, really think we're done. I think everything that can be said has been said and probably shouldn't have been. But I'm just trying to figure these things out because, you know what I'm saying? If I ever wake up and my hands look like catcher's mitts, I would like to know that there was a way to, find a pressure valve to take the pressure out of my hands. And yeah. Yeah. So, how about the Super Bowl? Yeah, how about that Super Bowl? Yeah, that cousin thing, that's That's where a lot of this stuff started. Have you ever seen those Habsburgs? When the Habsburgs were ruling Spain, and Charles of Spain, he had that elongated chin. It was like several men in the family had that Habsburg chin, and they would grow facial hair to try to conceal it. Well, that one Habsburg, um, he literally, they said that most of what he had was actually spinal fluid and not so much brain cells. That he was like, they don't know how he functioned. They really don't know how he functioned. They, upon investigation, when he died, they could not sort out how did he function, which is scary. Yeah, so he was on roller skates, Usher. He was on roller skates, and I'm just like, anybody who has a billion people watching them rolling around on skates and running up and down them steps and everything, and having the poise and confidence to do that in front of like God, a billion people, that is incredible. I mean, I know it's not really a billion, but there's so many people that are going to watch that halftime show. They're not going to watch it live, but still, a billion people are going to watch that halftime show. Yeah. Well, anyway, you guys, I had fun as usual. Didn't mean to stay on this long, but you know me, I don't really care. I was, what do you call it? I was a little tired before, but I got my second wind now. Now I could talk for a whole another hour. 2 hours. Don't bother me none. Oh, yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. I forgot about that. And what's her name? Beyonce is coming out with a country music album. I love her. I love Beyonce. She takes risk. She really takes risk. I like the way she handles her business. She stays above the fray. She doesn't get into those petty back and forths. Yeah, Vanzola, they were saying that Prince and Michael Jackson and I think Lady Gaga, those were the three that I heard were the best. But Prince, they said Prince was everything. They said Prince was everything. Prince was the most worthy of the halftime show. Michael Jackson's was good in that nobody had ever had such a big production like that with a single, act and everything. Michael Jackson's was huge. But I think that when you have the night sky, it gives you the advantage. But if it's still daylight, it's not as theatrical, I think. Michael Jackson was great. And for like 2 minutes, he just stood there when he popped out of that stage. And I don't think anybody had ever seen that before. But Lady Gaga was good. I mean, she did all kind of acrobatics and stuff like that and still managed to sing and play the piano. That was impressive. So, yeah, I think those for the halftime shows, I'm going to say Prince, Michael Jackson, and Lady Gaga. I think Michael Jackson and Lady Gaga, you can kind of interchange those for who's second and third. But, they all handled their business. They all really handled their business. Oh, and Beyonce. How could we forget Beyonce? Beyonce, yes. Beyonce was her halftime thing was incredible. Yeah, she oh, yeah, thank you for saying Beyonce. Okay, so Prince, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, and Lady Gaga. Those to me were the best. Those were the best. And the Star Spangled Banner, we don't even have to go back and forth about that. We all can agree that Whitney Houston was the best that is ever was and ever will be. The best that there ever was and ever will be. Nobody, and I do mean nobody, is going to hold a candle to Whitney Houston's Star Spangled Banner. It was just the best, the absolute best. Anybody else who think that they're going to bring it, I say quietly dismiss yourself, go on home. It's been handled. As they say in court, objection, asked and answered. Objection, Your Honor, asked and answered. It has been asked and it has been answered, and nothing else matters. Lisa D, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being here. Yeah, that was nice too. But the best ever, the best, Whitney Houston. Best television theme song, The Jeffersons. The Jeffersons. The Jeffersons. There's a lot of good ones, but The Jeffersons. It had everything. On your worst day, you can listen to the Jeffersons theme song and find yourself patting your foot. On the worst days. On the best day, I say go buy a lottery ticket. You might win. Now, there was some controversy about Whitney Houston's. I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to spoil it for people, but even that doesn't matter. She did what they asked her to do. It was still a live performance, but she had them reorchestrate the song or whatever you call it so that it could, it was just a vocal exercise is what it was. It was vocal gymnastics. That's what I mean to say. And it was beautiful. Jeffersons. I'm sorry, but Jeffersons. Yeah. Jeffersons. Now, according to Rolling Stone magazine, Aretha Franklin is the greatest singer of all time. And I agree with that. Greatest singer of all time. I think for everything, she was everything. The Suits commercial. Well, I saw that one with Judge Judy. At least I saw the making of it. And I was like, oh, God, I don't like Judge Judy. I don't like what she said about Harry. Talking about Harry and how he's supposed to deal with his family. She should have kept her mouth to herself. What she say in the court of law or the court of television or whatever she's doing is cute, is clever, is Judge Judy, but stay out of Harry's business. Yep, stay out of Harry's business. Okay, you all, I'm going to go because it's going to be a very busy week with the Sussexes. So I need to do some other things around here, but y'all know it's going to be busy with the Invictus because I will be here to cover it all. Looking forward to it. Again, it is the countdown to the Invictus Games, not the Invictus Games, but the countdown, the 1 year to go until the first ever winter hybrid games. So we have that to look forward to. So be ready to have some fun this week. And our faves are going to be all over the place, and you will be there to enjoy it. So remember, VS is usually on first during the day. So if you want to get your Sussex squad on, make sure you go and catch VS Speaks Royally. She is usually on before everybody else. I don't think we did Ginger Adventure, did we? Thank you, Compton Caligal. Yeah, and thank you, everyone, for sharing your honest, heartfelt opinions. It is always respected and appreciated. We can agree to disagree. There's no two of us that are alike, so certainly we shouldn't think alike. We're not a monolith. We're just people. And after all, people who need people are the luckiest. People in the world, with one person, one very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you are half, now you're whole. No more hunger. See, this is what y'all get for staying on here. Now you're getting punished. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs people. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. Good night, everybody. Okay, good night. Thank you all so much for being here. That's it. So, song's over, and I will see y'all tomorrow with one person. I bet you thought I was through, right? One very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you are half, now you're whole. Okay, I'm done. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs people. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. Okay, that's it. Don't tell me not to fly. I simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Who told you you're allowed to rain on my parade? Okay. Enough of the show tunes. Or in my case, out of tunes. Enough of the out of tunes. I saw that. Are you sure? But this is my favorite. Please, Baron. Oh man. Okay. All right. So we're done, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Love you guys. Good night.